Hey guys, my name is Oksana and I'm an English teacher. Today, on request of my students, I will talk about present perfect tense. First, I will look at the grammar structure and then I will explain when we use present perfect. In English, this tense is absent in many languages, but in English, it is very popular in conversation. Let's look. Subject. Subject is who or what is performing an action in the sentence. Then we have verb. Verb will consist of two components. First, have. Have, it doesn't have any meaning. It helps to build the grammar of present perfect. In third person singular, he, she, it, have becomes has. So this is something to remember. And then main verb. After have, we have main verb, which has the meaning, plus we add the suffix ed for regular verbs and the third form of irregular verbs, which is past participle to. So if the verb is irregular, we look at the table of irregular verbs, look at the column number 3 for past participle to form. Okay, so we can conclude here that in English there are regular verbs and irregular verbs. Let's have a look at regular verbs and the suffix ed first. All right? So I'll put it like this. In regular verbs are all simple verbs in English language, which just add suffix ed. So if we look at the infinitive, infinitive starts with preposition to. To wash, infinitive means the base form of the verb, which has no changes. So the verb without any changes is infinitive. To wash, for instance, in present perfect, we put it in present perfect with the verb have already, and we get wash plus suffix ed. Have washed. Just removing here plus. So you can see this suffix. Have washed. For example, to clean. And here we put it into present perfect. It's in red color somehow. Okay, just let me change it. Again, all right. All right, so let me change it to black. Have cleaned. Have cleaned. And let's just take some more like. All right. To start. To wash, have washed. To clean, have cleaned. To like, have liked. To start, have started. So if we look at this we can say that this is simple or not so hard, because we just add the ending here, ed, which means in our case present perfect. Just like we make past simple tense by adding the suffix ed, this is the same. Now let me just show you the irregular verbs. All right, guys, so irregular verbs, they are usually go in a table, and there are over 100 irregular verbs. Well, of course, it would be great if you learn all of them, but you don't have to really, unless you are asked to, I don't know. But how we actually work with irregular verbs. Of course, all students, all second language learners, take the table with them, printed or on some devices, so they can have a look and find the verb they need in the table. Otherwise, the other option is to learn some common or frequently used verbs by heart. You can pick up verbs you use more frequently and just learn them by heart. For example, verb to be is very common in English, and it's really, really good to learn it by heart. It's really good to remember these three, some people say 4 forms of verb be, to be. So be was were for past tense, and been for past participle too. So for our, let's say, for our present perfect tense, we need this column number 3, which is past participle too, and all of the verbs here we use in present perfect. It's how to learn. If you are going to learn this, just learn it as a rhyme. For example, arise, arose, arisen, be, was, were, been, bear, bore, born, become, became, become, begin, began, begun, bend, bent, bent, bind, bound, bound, bite, bit, bit, bleed, bled, bled, etc. So let's look just a bit more at these verbs, and let's say that there are some verbs we actually use quite common, like, for instance, eat, or verbs related to food, drink. You definitely need to learn them, because eat, ate, eaten, something good to know. Drink, drank, drunk, right? Also drive, drove, driven, commonly used word. Very common is the verb to do. It's good to know that in past tense it is did, but in present perfect it is done. So you can see that these verbs will have completely different forms. So we don't add suffixes here, but the whole word changes, right? So we have completely different words here. And it's up to you the way you want to learn them by heart, or you want just to use them from a table. All right, let's move on. And I'm going to tell you in more details when we use present perfect. All right, guys, so let me tell you when we actually use present perfect, and maybe it will make some sense to you. So let's look here. If we talk about present perfect, we can talk about 2 times when something started in past tense and is still going on in present tense. So let me tell you or show you this, how it happens. So in past tense, something was unspecified. It is unspecified past tense. unspecified past tense and present. This is the present tense or present moment, right? Unspecified past tense can be any time in past. We don't know. So we don't really specify this time. We don't know when this happened, okay? And if we just put an arrow here, so this is your present. And it happened until some time in present. So this is some particular moment in present time, in present tense. However, this activity or action which happened in our unspecified past still continues to present, and it may move to future as well. All right. So in other words, this is something that is quite generalized, unspecified. So this is very important. You can't use this tense when you are very specific about when it happened. All right, so you can't use it. Present perfect will be used to highlight any activity that happened once, sometime in the past, and we don't know when exactly, because we don't say when. We don't need this. We don't need specify this when it happened. It's still, something is still going on until present moment here, and it may be continued. It may continue in future. So at some point, present perfect is quite generalized tense, which occupies all tenses like past, present, and future, because it is not specified. So this is very important point here. The idea is that we don't specify any particular moment or duration in time in present perfect. All right. So let me just show you a couple of examples here. We can say that something happened in our past, and we can say, let's put it here, he has washed his car. So something happened in the past and has the evidence now in present. He has washed his car. We use present perfect because it is clean now, and we can have this evidence. We can see that it is clean now. However, in the past is unspecified because we don't know when he actually washed his car. There is no particular moment here. So this is very important to understand that it is not specific. Let me give you another example, and you think, what is this here? Here. And what is the difference? What's the difference? He washed his car yesterday. All right, look at this example here. Sorry. And can you see the difference here? What do you think is the difference? Yeah, that's right. There is no has, which means it is not present perfect. This sentence is past tense, simple past tense, because we have this particular word yesterday. Yesterday is a time marker of past simple tense. It shows us when it happened in the past. So this action happened in the past tense and finished, stopped. It doesn't have any evidence here in present. All right, so we already put the marker, the time marker, whether it happened yesterday or last month or last week or 3 years ago. 3 years ago. All these time markers will be your past tense. All right. So these time markers are past tense markers. Past tense, I'll put them here, not present perfect. So something happened in the past and finished. We don't have any evidence or connection here with present. But present perfect tense has a real connection between past tense and present tense. That's why we use it in a general, quite general sentences or ideas. If you want to transfer some ideas, it will be very much general. We don't put specific time here. All right? Let me give you some more examples here. For example, let me put it in different color and put it somewhere here. So example is in present perfect tense. So when we ask a question, we put have before subject. When we ask a question. All right, let me change the color and let me make it a bit bigger here. All right, so have will come first before subject. I will talk about this a bit later, how we make questions. But now just try to explain this. Have you ever been to Japan? Question. Have you ever been to Japan? This is present perfect, and present perfect is here. If we put this present perfect, present perfect, present perfect. Ever is a time marker. It is an adverb that helps us to understand that this is present perfect. All right? Have you ever been in Japan means that have you ever in your life, no matter when. So this is unspecified question. It's just in your life, in your life. We don't know when, just sometime in your life, whether it was past, so whether it was in the past or somewhere within this period of time, within this process, connection between past and present, just somewhere in your life. So question is quite generalized. Have you ever been to Japan? So this is perfect example of present perfect. Just to show you that the perfect tense, the perfect aspect of tense is unspecified. So just somewhere in your life, have you ever been to Japan? And this is a very, very common example of present perfect, right? Your your answer might be something like, yes, I have, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. No, I haven't. We use the verb have to create questions and create short answers in present perfect. Also, to create why I say create, to make negative sentences. All right, so yes, I have. No, I haven't. Another example of this would be, just let me remove these lines here. Another example of this would be, for instance, we have bought a new house. So this also shows us something which is unspecified because there is no time marker here. It happened sometime in the past. It happened sometime in the past, and it is now, until now, so until present moment. And it means that here we have a new house now. There's just until present moment, we have a new house now, right? So it means that it happened in unspecified past tense, and we have the evidence now, okay? We have the evidence in present, and it may continue to future, right? So there is no stop line and no identified period of time here. We have bought a new house and we have it now. We have bought a new car and we have it now. So it means now we'll show you the evidence of present, that we have it in present moment. We have the result, we have the evidence. Okay, but it doesn't, this tense, present perfect, it doesn't show any duration in time. So this is very important to consider as well. So we have result. Let me just put it here. Maybe that present perfect, it shows present perfect, right? Present perfect shows the action with a result or evidence now in present. So action happened, let's put it here, which action which happened in unspecified past with a result or evidence now. This is your present perfect tense. All right. All right, guys. So let's go one more time in some more details or how on how we make the negative sentences and question sentences. All right. So I have seen the movie. This is affirmative sentence. Affirmative sentence. You have eaten rice. Have eaten. This is your present perfect, past participle two, irregular verbs. When we want to make negative sentence, we put negative particle not between has or have and the main verb. So you put not between. He has not been to Rome. I have not been to Rome. We have not played football. So this is something to remember. And when we make a question, there is no extra verbs coming to present perfect, we just use what we already have. We use the helping verb have as the question verb, and we put it before the subject. And the subject is between our present perfect verb structure. So this component have comes before the subject and the main verb after. The main verb after. We get, have you finished? Yes, I have finished. Have they done it? Yes, they have done it. This is also important to remember how we make questions in present perfect. Let's move on. Just bear with me for a second. Let's look at how we make short forms with I have, you have, he has. So if you see this short form, put a highlighter, I have will become I've. We still pronounce it, I've. You have becomes you've. He has, she has, it has, John has, the car has. Will just stay as S, apostrophe S. But we have to pronounce it as well. His, she's, its, John's, the cars. Then same, we have, we apostrophe VE, we've. They have, they apostrophe VE, they've. They have done it, they've done it, we have done it, we've done it, I have done it, I've done it, you have done it, you've done it, he has done it, he's done it, she has done it, she's done it, etc. Okay, just let's move on. All right, now here, let's actually talk about what present perfect expresses. Well, the first and the most important one is the completed action with the evidence in present. So completed action, if you look back to the diagram I was drawing before, and you see that the action started in some unspecified past, and we have the evidence in present tense. She has tidied her room, and we have the evidence of this, right? Because she has finished tidying her room, and you can see it is tidy now. So now is your present moment, and she has finished. Finished means past tense, so it is unspecified past tense when she has actually finished tidying her room, and you have the result, you have the evidence in present. You can see it now. So this number one is the first and most common explanation of present perfect tense, and when we use it and how we use it. That action happened in the past, and we have the evidence, we have the result now. Then number two is something very similar. He has lost his keys. He has lost his keys in some indefinite past, indefinite or unspecified past. And he is still looking for them now. He is still means now, yes? So he is still looking for them. So he didn't find them, right? So we have the evidence, or we have the result now. All right? So Number 3 is a bit different. So we use present perfect when we talk about some personal changes that have occurred. I have lost 10 kilos. I have bought a car. But with the car, it's also like last week, yes, I didn't have a car. Present, now I have a car. So something in past happened, unspecified past, and now I have the evidence. So this is, yes, this will be similar to number 1 and number 2. It's like something happened in the past, now we have the evidence. With these personal changes, I have lost 10 kilos. Well, of course, yeah, something happened in the past when you started losing the weight, and now, until present moment, you have this result, but it is unspecified, no definite time markers. All right. And number 4, when we talk about repeated actions, when we literally talk about repeated actions, something happened and we know how many times it happened. He has written 3 letters since this morning. She has called on 2 clients since 12 o'clock. She has given a presentation 5 times in her life. So he has been to London twice. So this is the repeated action when we put a number of those repetitions of those actions. All right, let's move on. All right, so this is my favorite. I always tell my students to learn the tenses with the time markers or marker words. All right, they are signal words, marker words. They help us really a lot to identify the tense we need to use in the sentence. Or even if you speak, let's take our conversational language. Even if you speak and you use the word already, what tense are you going to use? Just think. And well, eventually with practice, it will come simultaneously. It will come instantly. But at first, just think what tense you're going to use with already. Not past tense, but present perfect tense. Yet usually comes at the very end of the sentence, but it is past tense. Always, not always used with past tense, but happens. It depends on the situation in the text or the situation in life you are talking about. Present perfect also tells us for how long something happened. So far, recently or lately, since and for, today, this week, this month. But we'll talk about since and for now in more details. All right, guys, so the time markers for, all, and since are super popular to show the present perfect tense. So with since, for, you never use any other tense. You have to know, just remember this is perfect. It will be perfect aspect of tense. All right. So for or all show the duration of an action. He has taught math for 15 years. And also, if we look back at the diagram or here, something happened. He started to teach math one day in unspecified past. We don't actually show the particular time, right? And we have the evidence now. All of it was 15 years altogether, but there is no a particular moment or when he stopped teaching, or if he's still teaching, we don't know. That's why it is generalized idea, and it may continue to the future. All right. I have studied English all my life. It will be the same example, all my life, but we don't know whether I have stopped learning English, studying English, or I'm still doing it until now. There is no particular time. That's why we use present perfect. Since shows the starting point of an action which is still happening in unspecified present moment. We still have the evidence. So we have lived present perfect in France since 2012. We have the evidence because in present we still live in France since this time in past. So since show the starting point in past, but we still have the evidence of that, what happened in past. That's why we use present perfect. He has lived in the same house since he was a child. So the starting point, he was a child, and we still have the evidence. We live in the same house. We still have the evidence in the present. All right, now let's do some homework for you. I will tell you what to do here. First of all, look at the examples here. What you need to do, you have subject, any subject, I, you, we, they. You have the verb in brackets. So you need to put the verb in brackets into correct present perfect tense. They visit. They have visited Venezuela before. For he, she, it, we say has. Susan has. Paul and his mother. Now here you have to look at how many people, is it singular or plural, to make a decision whether it is has or have here. So with such subjects, just be careful. Look at how many people are there, or objects. So let's do just number one. It's very similar. It's also your example here. So I visit. We put visit into present perfect, and we get I have visited Tennessee before. So the idea is the same here. So all of these sentences, you can just, it's like a drill, you know, just practice for practice. You can pause this video and do it yourself. Then look a bit down here. Let's look at sentence number 10. It will be quite different. Let's look at this sentence and let's talk all of the children. And this is interesting because what can you say about this? All of the children. This is the subject, and brush is the verb. Brush their teeth. So let's turn the subject into a pronoun. All of the children. He, she, it, we, you, they. Yes, it's they, right? So you always put such subjects if you ask question. Turn the subject into a pronoun. What you get? I, he, she, it, they, we, you. Who is this? And when you identify the pronoun, it will be easy for you to decide whether put have or has. So if we have they is plural form, then we have. Brush is regular verb, then we just add ed and we get have brushed their teeth. Same with the next one. You have to decide who is Andrew. Andrew is a personal name. For those who don't know, please ask your teacher or go Google. Andrew, you have to decide whether it is he or she, right? Because in many cultures, English names are not common and people don't know who is this. So let me just tell you that Andrew is he. When we turn it into a pronoun, we just say here that he has. Finish is regular verb, we just add ed. We say Andrew has finished his work. Mimi. I actually don't know who's Mimi myself, whether it is a boy or a girl or a dog. But let's pretend that this is a girl. She. It's unspecified gender or object or subject or thing. Okay, maybe it is a toy. We don't know. Mimi. But if this is, you just look at how many. I don't see the plurality here, so there is no plural suffix. I can say that this subject is singular. That's why easily I don't even need to put it into gender or pronoun. It can be whatever. Mimi, for me, is just singular, third person. And I put it into a different form of the verb have, right? Has, for third person singular, for he, she, it. And I say has played golf before. I see, very easy, you can do it yourself. I wash, very easy, you can do it yourself. You complete, very easy, you can do it yourself. So just pause this video. But I have more homework for you, so let's move on. Just a moment, bear with me, please. All right, so one more homework for you. I will make a couple of sentences with you and the rest you will do yourself. So this is interesting because this exercise has names, like personal names. And you will have to decide or Google who is who to decide whether it is singular or plural. Remember that for singular third person, we put has, and for plural, we put have. That's all you need to do in this exercise, right? Has, if this is one person, like Emmy, and have, if there are two or more people, so it would be have. Has or have, you have to decide. And of course, you have to decide what is the correct form of the verb in present perfect. Remember, we use a third column of irregular verbs, right? Or we just add ed suffix to regular verbs. All right, so with the most of these verbs, you will have to check them in dictionary or just go straight to the table of irregular verbs. Let's look here. Mark eat dinner already. He's not hungry. And of course, this is I already told you that this exercise is all present perfect, and there is an example how to make this exercise. So there is a hint for you how to make it. But you can see the test in English where it can be random. Just put correct tense. And here, most of you will probably put just eat here. You know, many students, I know, they just say eat, that's it. So, and of course, this is wrong answer, and I will put fail for this. Because how to know that this actually a present perfect? This is very interesting. Remember time markers? Yes. So always remember about time markers. They will definitely help you in such situations to decide what tense to use. In this sentence, it is clear that this present perfect only if even I wouldn't know that this exercise is on present perfect, right? But only because I already know that this is present perfect. So, and Mark is he, singular, has eaten. Eaten is irregular verb. Okay, so this is the easiest way to identify the tense in similar exercises, tasks, by finding the time marker in a sentence. Let's look at number 2. Same. Remember, we were talking about the repeated actions when we have the exact number of repeated actions. 3 letters today. Okay, I would actually think hard here if I didn't know that present perfect is used when we have repeated actions, right? And if it would not specifically state that this is present perfect activity. So I will look here, and then I would remember that present perfect has repeated actions. And I will put it here. Beth is a female name, so I put has for singular. Has 3 letters today. So with this one, yes, there is no time marker in this sentence, number 3, but look at another sentence. Now they can relax. And there is some hint for you too, because now something happened in the past, right? And now unspecified past, because now tells something different. Now they have some other result. So it also to decide what tense to use, you can look at the next sentence and it will give you more information. Okay, so what is here? Has or have? Right, have, because there are 2 people here and it is plural. Have taken the test. Now they can relax. All right, same here with the repeated actions 3 times. We just say Marty and I. All right, what about the verb to be? Remember, verb to be is irregular. And Marty and I, what is has or have? Because there are many, it is plural. It's not only I, it's Marty and I. So it's we. Generally, if we turn it into pronoun, that's why we put have. And be in third column of irregular verbs is, have been. So Mati and I have been to Costa Rica 3 times. We are familiar with the culture, right? The next, I think you can do it yourself. So this will be your homework. All right, thank you for watching me, and bye for now.